have connections to New York and Boston at Union Station. New York MTA comes here regularly through the day. So there's a lot of transit that's provided in this community, and a good deal of resources are expended on transit. However, we know that it can be improved, and that's what we're here to talk about. So we want to get your input on where better service should be. Where would faster service benefit you? Where would greater service coverage benefit you? Where would the longer service day or Sunday or Saturday service benefit you? We need to know where you're going from, where you're going to, coming from, going to, and how you need to get there. So where will faster transit service be used most in the community? Where will greater transit service reduce congestion in our community? And will faster service connect people to jobs, to schools, to medical appointments, etc.? We know that it will. Where should we put it so it can do that? These are the questions we're asking you today. We need your input. As Doug said, you are the number one stakeholder in this process. This is all about serving the community. And you know the community better than anybody. You know what will work, and you know what won't. So tell us. In the next slide, we talk about some of the travel data in New Haven from other studies. But remember, these questions are being asked because we're looking for your input to help us narrow the focus on where improvement should go. Okay? Now, Doug mentioned the comment sheets in the back. Please use the comment sheets to provide your input. You, if you'd like, can put your name, address on there, or you can leave it anonymous. If, for instance, you need some assistance in writing out your comments, or if a disability will prevent you, we have staff who will listen and write out your comments. Now, New Haven. New Haven should be proud of the fact that it engages in high-level planning to improve services of all types, including transit service. And many studies and much research has been conducted in New Haven over the last decade. And on this slide, we've mentioned just a few of the efforts that have been undertaken to get to know the region and get to know what the problems are and to come up with solutions. For instance, there's the 2013 Greater New Haven Community Index and Wellbeing Survey, the 2010 Transit for Connecticut Prioritized Bus Service, the 2008 update to the Regional Transit Study, which was done by SCRCOG, and the 2007 Connecticut DOT Long Range Transportation Plan. And there are others. So how do we use these studies and data within the studies to help us have better and faster transit in New Haven? We'll take a quick review now of the transit service and travel patterns presented in the previous work. Okay? So, on the next slide, you will see a transit map. And you can see that in New Haven, if you look at that map, there's pretty good service coverage, right? That doesn't talk about service quality. That doesn't talk about frequency. That doesn't talk about time of day. It doesn't talk about reliability. That's what we need to hear from you. So as you can see on the map, CT Transit operates a hub and spoke service with the majority of the routes traveling to downtown. Many of the routes also provide service to outlying neighborhoods. The map on the right shows where CT Transit has the highest ridership. So the thicker lines are where you have the most ridership. And you can see that you can see the bus options there. The D line on Dixwell Avenue, the B line on Whaley and Congress Avenue, the Grand Avenue line were reported to have the highest ridership in the system. So those of you all who use the bus service know that. Now we move to the downtown area, which has numerous bus routing options. So we're focusing on downtown. You can see that the bus system operates into and focuses on downtown. That's true along with the commuter rail and Yale shuttle service, all operating in that area. The map shows the connectivity with bike lanes and paths in the area as we identify a specific area for enhanced and faster transit in New Haven. We want to ensure we maintain connections with the bike system, which is a great bike system, and pedestrian facilities throughout the city. Now, in the previous map, we showed the highest ridership routes for CT Transit. In addition to that map, we also have the locations where people are boarding the bus. Now, as you can see on the map, the majority of the activity is in the downtown area. You ask yourself why? Well, if all the routes go to downtown and we do transfers in downtown, that's going to be a natural occurrence. However, downtown is the major generator for employment rides, so it would be natural that the largest ridership and boardings would take place in downtown. Next, we're going to look at travel patterns in New Haven. Where folks are coming from, going to. You can see the travel patterns in New Haven are complicated. This map shows travel desire lines for residents from segments of the community to other segments of the community. This data comes from the 2005 Regional Transit Study. With our effort in this study, which we are scoping, starting to scope, we will need to determine if these travel patterns are still relevant and true today, or if they've changed since 2005 when this research was done. Now, we presented a small snapshot of travel and transit information that was reported in previous studies. What does all this data mean? It means that we need to understand the information and determine if the patterns are still in place today. Most importantly, with this data, we have the opportunity to identify where we should have enhanced transit service in New Haven. Okay? With your input, with the data, you can focus in on what's happening, what should be happening, and come up with some solutions to the problems that you already identified. One of the previously adopted studies in 2005 identified 4 major rapid bus corridors. They are Whaley Avenue, Dixwell Avenue, Rand Avenue, and the Congress Corridor corridor. So the question is, do you think these are still priority corridors in New Haven? Are we missing any? From the previous transit and travel patterns, these corridors are definitely highly traveled. But are they still the top corridors? Remember these questions as you fill out your comment cards. We're looking for your input and your thoughts on these issues, how to improve. Now, as we come to a close in this really brief presentation of what has happened in the past and where we're trying to go to, we pose the question to you. And this question is intended to focus you on helping us scope the study. Okay? So you can expand it from 2, but our question is, what 2 areas of New Haven would you personally choose for enhanced transit service? Okay. So enhanced transit services would be a route where one doesn't exist now along the corridor, more frequency on the current route that misses a destination, and it should perhaps go to that destination. A route that doesn't operate long enough during the day, doesn't start early enough in the morning or go late enough at night. Routes that don't operate on Saturday and Sunday, even though you may need service on Saturday and Sunday. What 2 areas in this community would you propose enhanced transit service? That's where we want to focus. So that's not an easy question, but as we discussed before, each of you know the community. Each of you live and work and ride and travel through this community. You know what works, you know what doesn't, you know what's missing. Okay? Tell us. Going forward, just as Doug mentioned, this is the first of 4 public hearings for this project. planning process will begin this winter. Let me tell you a little bit about it, okay? So, New Haven and your city fathers had the foresight 3 years ago to go and ask Congress for a substantial amount of money to tie together those previous studies to come to some final conclusions so that transit improvements can be implemented in cooperation with the partners, CT Transit, Greater New Haven Transit. Okay? For various reasons, that money was not accessed for the last 3 years. The federal government only allows you to keep that money for 3 years, and if you don't use it, they take it back. The current mayor has identified transportation as a civil right, and it really is. You can't live your life if you can't have access and connection to it. So what we are doing at this phase is, even though Congress has issued the money, they gave direction to one of the partners, Federal Transit Administration, to oversee the studies. They will not allow us to start the study until we have developed what's called the scope. The scope is being developed with your input. Once that scope is developed, your community will go out and seek professional service help to actually conduct the study. That study will take about 9 months to a year. So after that 9 months to a year, which will start towards the end of this calendar year, that's when the solutions will arise and the improvements will start yielding. Okay? So today what we're focusing on is, what should the study focus on? Now, having said that, I know many folks in the audience have comments that don't relate to the scope of the study, but relate to current service. Those comments are welcome as well, because those comments help inform how we scope the study. All right? So if you don't have a specific suggestion that a bus should go down this street, or we should have more frequent service in this corridor, but you just want to talk about what isn't working, or why the service doesn't meet your needs, those comments are welcome as well. Okay? So, Doug?
So, I think what we're ready for now is discussion and hear your input, some thoughts you have on. Yes, sir.
Yes, in this study, how do you plan on addressing a study of on-time reliability of current service so you can then project how you should enhance service?
That's automatically probably.
Okay, how do you do that? There are no GPSs on the bus today. So how do you tell when a bus is on time at Vista, then a bus is on time at Vista, then a bus is on time at Walmart, then a bus is on time at DJ's, and then in the reverse direction?
You know, the one thing I didn't do at the beginning of my presentation, I was supposed to tell you about me. Okay? I've been in public transportation for 35 years. I'm the past chair of the American Public Transportation Association, which means that I somehow got the respect of my colleagues, and they hired me to be the leader of our industry for a year. And I've had other positions like that. I've been past chair of the Transportation Research Board, which is a subset of the National Academies of Science. Researches transportation. So I know a little bit about it. So back in the day, before there was GPS, we used to do what's called trail checks. Okay? Well, they're sample surveys. Okay? But the technology is not on the vehicles. So, but you can do, the technology is not on the vehicles, but I can have surveyors with technology in their hands. So we will do trail checks, we will do onboard monitor checks, we will do onboard surveys. And they've been reliable methods of collecting data for service quality for many years. They're not quite as reliable as the large technologies. So that's how we'll do it.
On the point of GPS, I think it's, anybody that knows me knows that I won't shut up about GPS, the importance of it in real-time transit. Right now it's planned that at the end of 2016, the allocation.
The D14 on Sunday that comes up here and goes over towards Target.
So what I heard was, so CT Transit and every government agency will talk to you about resources, not having enough resources. So when we have these resource constraints, it's important to deploy our buses in the most intelligent way, is what I heard, right? To make sure that the bigger routes have the double buses.
Yeah, but the double bus does a half a route. It's not the full Grand Avenue route.
Right.
It only goes as far as Front Street.
And I wanted to follow up on your Sunday service comment. I agree with you. Hourly service is like ridiculous. You know, and some places have to have hourly service because that's all they can do. But are you saying stop Sunday service entirely
No,
because
not
of
stop
war and
Sunday
increase the
service, just do
frequency?
away with hours. Because that makes no sense.
Increase the frequency.
Yeah, because you've got people, you know, you're running for a bus downtown, and if you don't make that connection on the hour, you have to wait a whole other hour. And it should be the same as, you know, during the week.
Thank you, that's great. Yes, ma'am.
There's another thing, this commenting on the timing. I come in from New York a lot. When I come in, another thing commenting on the time is I come in from New York a lot. At 6 o'clock, the bus is still open, like she says, he goes another hour late. You don't get the bus at like 6:10. The next bus is 7:30, 8:35, 9:35, and 10 o'clock. When I get in here, from coming in, even if you're coming in from, say, the working schedule, you get here about 6 o'clock. You don't make that connection to J to get downtown. See, this is a, you know, it's a real crowded bus. It's one of the busiest lines. I take it a lot. You don't get downtown at a certain time, you're stuck in front of Foot Locker until 7:30, 8 o'clock. Personally, I don't like it.
Yeah. May I,
Stand in front of Foot Locker.
how many of us have ever worked a second shift job? As I have. Now, could you take that bus to a second shift job?
No.
Thank you for the comment.
No. And that was my next question.
Yes, ma'am.
Two problems. The Sunday service, I don't want to think, I agree. You don't, it's absolutely crazy to think you can go somewhere on an hour when you can't get here. And we don't need to get rid of it, we need to enhance it and make it feel better. You know, do something so people can ride it. And then the other thing is, when you do have a bus that has a connection, you can't get to it because either your transportation, like if she probably comes in on the train, it doesn't go with that. And when you're trying to work in something later in the day, and you're trying to get like from work to wherever, or whether go home or to a friend's house or whatever, you can't get there because there are no other buses to get you back to your home. And it's like ridiculous, late at night, and we have some buses here that come late at night, but they're far and few between. And it's the worst time to be far and few between. Nighttime isn't a good time to be alone down the road.
You also have a dead-end bus. You have a bus that comes up, now I know that this area has to have some type of service. But when you come up, Grand Avenue, you never know which one is gonna make that right-hand turn by the church and take them 3 blocks coming around. All it does is go up 2 blocks, make it circle, come back, and come right back to the church and come up Grand Avenue. When you have appointments to keep, there's no way of knowing what time, which one of these buses are gonna make that swing. You know, and they
Not
constantly,
designated on the
and
schedule.
they usually make it, unfortunately, during 2:30, 3 o'clock, when you're probably really trying to get to your doctor's appointment, to the next appointment. You know, they make this swing. To me now, there's like 3 people, I take the bus a lot. There's like 3 people that get on this bus that lives on that corner. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm talking about.
In the back there.
Mostly it's not.
Has anybody spoke about my ride?
Not yet?
Can I open up the floor? May I open up the floor? Are you still on the buses? I'll wait, I'll be polite, I'll wait if you want to talk about the buses.
No, we're just trying to make sure that you can be heard.
Oh, my mouth's big enough to be heard. Can you hear me?
Everybody hearing from the back?
Everybody calls me motor mouth, so they know that I don't talk, they can hear me. And I know everybody here has been using my ride. I've been using it since 1995. When I first rode it, they had the best system in the world. almost died there. They canceled me for a month, and I was in the hospital. Couldn't answer my telephone. They kept asking me when I came home, where are you? You dropped me off at the hospital and you didn't pick me up. Where do you think I am? Now, the new system is, you call up and you make your ride. But then they call you the night before, and they give you a different time. And then they're an hour late. But if you're 5 minutes late, you are no-show and they will not come and pick you back. If they miss you because you're in line or your doctor's appointment, they put you no-show, and I waited 4 hours to be picked up.
I got one.
They do it to the elderly lady who might have the beginning of dementia, and they leave her on the side of the road, and she might forget what time it is. And some of the drivers care, and some of them, they can give a shit if you live or die, excuse my French.
Thank you, Mayor. Make
They
sure to fill out.
they treat you with kindness, and some of them, if you're in a chair, they say, why do I have to strap you in? Why can't you sit there? Well, if I didn't need the chair, I wouldn't be in the chair. Yes, I can walk short distances, but my life and my story is my story.
Thank you. Please make sure to fill out the comment cards,
He's
especially.
gonna do it for me because I used too many words in the bill spell. Thank you for the floor.
I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
I called in for a ride and I gave them all the information about what apartment I live in
Did you get it?
and what time I had to be at an appointment and everything. I sat in here and then I went across to where I live at and I kept on watching my ride. Well, I called them up and they told me that they were here and everything. I told them, what do you mean they were here? I could tell you how many cars came and everything. And I said, you didn't come. And they started to argue with me and they said, well, you about called me a liar. And I said, well, where'd you go? What apartment did you go to? Oh, I went to E building. I said, I don't live in E building. I told you D building. And he said, oh no, he went to E building, left and left you a note. And I said, okay, I went to E building, we had a note right there. I don't live there. And everything. So I missed my appointment and everything. And then sometimes they have a person on there that just got done with their appointment already. They say, okay, first I'm gonna take this person here, and then I'm gonna take you to an appointment. And then you get late for your appointment when they do that. I don't wanna be late for my appointment. You know? And as far as this computer system they got and everything, that rocks. You know? It was better when they had a person just making things, schedules and stuff. You know, you could ask some of the drivers and they'll tell you the same thing. They don't like the computer system.
Does my right have
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's okay. Thank you, sir.
Now, you're talking about my rights. What about my Catholic medical transportation service? They treated me rotten just today. I had an appointment at 2 o'clock. I sat out here in front of the E-bill from 12 until I got tired. I do have a cell phone. I called them. They told me that, all right, maybe they did call my apartment, but I was outside. They said they called it twice. And they told me they had sent somebody up here to pick me up. I was right in front of the E-bill where I live, and I didn't see a jack one from the Majestic Medical Gas.
I can believe it.
And the driver for Lindy, Lina, is not sociable, they're not responsible. Before I found out that Metro does the same thing as Lindy does, I had a cab driver, after I had my knee operation in 2009, I had a fold-up walker besides this one. I had my fold-up walker, and he had the dashboard, my walker, and me in the front seat. My walker was sitting right here, and if he got into an accident, it would hit me right here. Now, and not only that, with Lindy, I got home about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night after my doctor's appointment was ended to about at least 3, I say about 3 o'clock. And with that, it comes whenever they feel like it.
And they wanna raise the prices. My ride wants to raise the prices. and everything.
My ride, I've been using my ride about 3 times so far, and I have no problem so far with my ride. I'm not saying that they're the best, but I haven't had the problem with them.
there really should be
calling the dispatcher, and they kept saying, oh, the driver is on his way, he's on his way. I said, well, where's he coming from? Africa or where? Because, you know, I'm down on the street by myself at night. This is not a good place to be, down there at Walmart.
You call 911 and they on me.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question of the group, for those that are My Ride customers? If CT Transit had a bus that went to 20 York Street, or went to your doctor's office, would you take the bus instead of My Ride?
Absolutely.
As long as the ramp was wide enough to get on the bus, because I've had problems getting on the ramp with the bus. I couldn't get on, and I'd be stuck at the bus stop.
Just wanted to feel that out. How are other people's experiences with the CT Transit, the Connecticut Transit bus system?
And you know, certain time of a certain time of day, the B bus, I take the B bus a lot, going to there. A certain time of day, the B bus and the B bus, of course, it's quite crowded. It definitely could use someone else and more buses on the line. You know, at 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, the bus is unbearable. The bus driver doesn't, the front seats are for handicapped, I have a bad head. Might not look, but I have a bad head. And to get on the bus, you know, the bus drivers, they try, but they should be, even, in New York, they have, sometimes they have like it's like a police officer. And he goes and rides on the main lines, you know what I'm saying, to collect things like, someone taking up 4 seats and elderly people standing up holding on to the line because they can't sit down. You know, they don't want to get up because a wheelchair comes on. All wheelchairs come in through the front. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to move because the wheelchairs on. I think that would be good help for you. To have someone at least ride around.
Mystery shopper program.
Yeah, you know, just come in and they come in, they sit on the bus, they do number 12. I'm speaking real now. They do number 12 in certain lines. They have somebody go around. So therefore, if they kind of get the knowledge that, hey, there might be somebody on that bus that might be in trouble if they do this.
The airlines do it with
that.
U.S. Marshal Service, right?
You know, that camera is not deterring or deter anything happening, first of all, from midway to the back of the bus. And it really doesn't deter what happens kind of in the front of the bus. You know, I mean, because if it did, some of the issues won't happen. I think that would be.
I have one more thing about the bus which I'd like to clear up. There's one main spot that I always have an issue in that I think my chair's gonna tip and that's why I was trying to bring somebody with me when I go on the bus. When you get off on Long Wharf at the medical building, the one station right across from there where we wait is never cleared. It's very dangerous. Cleared out for you to get on to wait for them. Yeah, it's terrible. And I know a couple other people, a friend of mine that used to live here who just moved out, he had that problem too. So we actually had to stop taking the Connecticut Transit and call for a different ride to get down to that medical building. And all they would have to do, City Public Works, was clean that one spot and make it
You're older and I will make sure that gets cleaned up this month.
great. Thank you.
I have to make sure I know exactly where it is.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Thanks.
Yes, all.
Even though I got a list this long. I should have brought it down so you could see it.
I can imagine it.
I just want to say, I take the bus. I'm on the bus all the time, going down the city, City Hall, Walmart, you name it. There was one night, the bus was very packed, it was 13 or 12. There's always kids in the front seat. The mothers put them on their lap. Now, I don't know if anybody knows my age, but I'm over 65 years old. I won't go any supposed to.
They did one drive up and they said it'd be there 5 minutes and then they came
No,
out.
they're supposed to get out, they're supposed to get out and make sure that when you get in the.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever seen how the buses are situated only for small wheelchairs?
No, ma'am.
For me to get on, I have to have a friend help me because I get stuck in the grooves. Everybody who has a wheelchair or walker knows what I'm talking about. And some bus drivers help you, but some bus drivers say, well, your friends will do, you can do it when it's their job, or if you by yourself or you're on your own. Stuck on a ramp because sometimes you can get yourself on a ramp, that's fine. But you go like this, in a little kitty corner, and then when nobody moves, and then when you ring the bell to get off, nobody respects you, they get off, and you, and the bus driver saying, let her off, all piled on, and then they have to get off to let me off. The same type of
We're having a hard time hearing the conversation, everybody. We could, try and have one conversation.
The issue is not being fat, it's for your medical issues. What is wrong with you that you need apparatus or something that is harder to do than the ramp is? Sometimes we can close it, but then we can't move. Even on my right, I cannot sit with my illness because my legs swell, and they demand me to get off the chair and sit. Because they don't wanna do their job of strapping my chair in.
You mentioned it, yeah.
But they have to strap it in whether I'm in it or not, so it doesn't kill somebody on there, so what's the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of us who take the bus use shopping carts, just say for groceries or what have you. And when you get on the bus, there's no room. You can't pull a cart in, it's gotta stay in the alley, in the middle of the aisle. And the bus driver gets frustrated, other riders get frustrated, but we cannot carry those groceries around. Is there a way to remove a couple of seats perhaps so that we could be with our basket out of the way? It's dangerous in case there's an accident, but most of us rely upon those.
That's a wonderful comment. I mean, a lot of, we can use bus for everything. Honestly, you know, we gotta go to the grocery store and carrying our luggage, carrying our groceries.
I care, because the bus is not accommodated, and I can't rely on my right because it wasn't accommodated.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
You're taking my independence away without knowing it's good.
Especially if you have those candle buttons.
Sorry.
Maybe they'll do it.
Don't you agree?
They might put more out there.
You know, the trains, they have the bike racks. So what if there was a small rack that folded in and they would strap in your groceries?
It's a good idea.
As far as the scope of this study that's going to be taking place, it's obviously one of the things that's been brought up tonight is the utility of the bus vehicle itself needs to be looked at as well as scheduling and physical times. But also in terms of waiting structures. Take for instance, one of the main hubs, on Chapel Street between Church and Orange, where there are hundreds of people all the time. There are street vendors, and there are unsavory characters, and someone got shot down the street from there a couple of months ago with a street robbery. There's no structure there to shelter you from the weather. Well, now there's an open air structure. Sure, there's no police presence. It appears to be a very unsafe area, especially late at night. Late at night, if you're someone who's coming from New York and your train arrives at 8 o'clock at night, then you have to get over to that area there. It's a terrifying place to stand for an hour while you're waiting for the bus.
Has that already been monitored?
And we,
Has anybody already put that complaint in that they're working on it?
in fact, we are, JD is lovingly been surveying for the last month the physical condition of the stop. We've been using the ridership information. We've been prioritizing the most frequented bus stops. He's done a fantastic survey of physical infrastructure. My department's job is it's in my power to make your bus. I'm supposed to put your bus stops for my department. We can do better. We're having more around the city. We just put 6 more out last week. So that particular stop is of interest to us in the city. My question is simple, which is if you're taking a commute, which sometimes is more than 90 minutes, depending on how many transfers we have, where do you go to the bathroom? I mean, to me, that's the biggest question we need to answer. Right. You gotta buy something, and some of the, you don't wanna get the attitude. We've actually met down at Dunkin' Donuts. Sometimes they'll let you use it, sometimes they won't. And anybody that has to go to the bathroom doesn't want to negotiate with the store owner or for the simple ability to relieve yourself. So, something that I'm thinking about constantly is we call them pulse points or bus depots. Right now, our downtown functions as a bus depot or a transfer station. But again, there's no running water other than the lion's mouth at the corner of Church and Chapel. There's no bathrooms other than the 2 portalettes for most of the year. For me, it's a question of equity and a question of social justice. Where do our transit riders use the restroom? Where do they buy a cup of coffee when they're waiting for the bus for that hour if they gotta wait that? Someone I can forget it.
Just a few quick 1, 2, 3 bullet points. Chapel and Temple. I've been putting that on the mayor's Facebook page. I'm sure they pretty annoyed at me by now. I take pictures and I put them on there. They say, "Damn, I know exactly how it works. I know the people that are doing it across the street. When the cops are coming, they use a cell phone or they use certain signals to signal the cops. They work together. I've heard the conversation. I've sat and heard every detail of every conversation on how it works. I can make a map out of how it works with the cops, and I can tell them. They sell anything from medicines from Yale University. They sell Xanax. They sell marijuana. They sell monthly bus passes. I know personally now, I've traced it. Okay, I keep myself safe, but I've traced it to Columbus House. Some people working there are giving out bus passes. There's a value of about 50 to 100 monthly bus passes. Okay, you guys are losing out on revenues, and the other thing is,
I got a friend who's homeless who can't get one.
yeah, that's right. There's some people who are multiples. They get multiples and they sell it. Okay, also some of the bus drivers, especially the new ones, are playing Mother Teresa.
Michael.
Excuse me. Hey, excuse me. Lines too.
They're playing Mother Teresa by letting everybody on the bus, and people are getting. If you let them get used to behaving like I don't have enough change, they're playing games. I don't have enough, but yet you come off the bus and you go and buy marijuana. Okay, but I'm 75 cents change. Oh, I'm not paying. Oh, go ahead. The bus drivers are not doing it. Okay, I know they're scared of the people and all that, and they tell us basically it's none of their business what people are doing. Okay, I've seen people on the bus.
And yet your rate went up 15 cents last fall because of operation costs.
Yeah, I told some of the bus drivers that you can't keep letting people on free because it's going to affect the D line, it's going to affect whatever line that you're doing this. You can't play. It's not you are a driver working for CT. You cannot allow people to keep driving for free, and they have a habit of it, so they expect it now. Okay, and they demand it. I want a free ride, and they get it.
Can you, Chapel and Temple, offline, either later tonight or next time you're downtown, we're gonna get this solved. We'll get we've had an issue at Chapel and Church for years for drug dealing. We have some sweeps every once in a while.
And they go behind the bathroom is behind the ticket thing, where they actually go to the bathroom before the kids behind the ticket front.
Okay, back to my
I think it's the sales at ShopRite.
And as Michael has been explaining, this is the conversation to help our team, Greater New Haven Transit, CT Transit, Conduct, myself, our consultant team, to really focus our scope of services for this big study. This big study will look at that exact problem. You know, and should there be an express bus to Walmart?
Yes.
Or ShopRite?
Parking lot of ShopRite, standing on the sidewalk.
Yeah, thank you, that's our gate by car. Thank you very much.
And we also have, New Haven for Bradford, they're right out there.
Yep.
But we have to walk there,
Yeah.
and you need to go there.
Great.
Take X-rays,
Yep.
blood work, or whatever.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
This one.
I don't think anybody thank you guys for doing this for us.
Not yet.
They call me Motormouth, but it's a courtesy, yes. You're loving us for doing this. Thank you for doing it for us.
We should all be able to. We should all feel comfortable. Yeah. It's our city. This is where we live. I know exactly where that is, actually. Trash can outside of Starbucks on Church Street. There's these 5 gaps on the sidewalk where they pop out of. Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
They also come out of that building on the corner of Chapel and Orange.
The Bacon building?
Yeah, it used to be the hair of the Sassy.
I know the owner. I'll make sure that they get a
Come out
permit.
of there, daytime too, they don't come out of there.
I should say that we have an aggressive public extermination program. Obviously, we can't get them all, and some of the problems are an infrastructure problem with cracks in the sidewalk. Yeah, we had a couple of people about 2 weeks ago that had a big meeting that were trying to address it. So, but I do know the owner of the Four Brothers. I think it was the Four Brothers Wig Shop.
Yeah, because it's also, it's now, Sassy,
Yeah.
doors down.
But I can take it. Have to make sure the owner of
Yeah,
that
those
building.
rats come out in the daytime, they don't care about whether it's night.
Please, ma'am. I don't know. Consistency, maybe like a
Have to be able to secure, we have to be able to secure it and secure the bags. We can't let the bags fly around in the park. They will help you carry up to 3 surfaces. That's all we ever do.
Yeah, but I've seen them, they put the lift down, to put the shopping carts on, and you take them off. I've seen them do it, many times. Yeah. When they come here every Monday or Friday.
I just want to make a quick comment. The bus stop itself, the bus. Yeah, the little house you're standing over on 150 Sergeant Drive, back from 150 Sergeant Drive. Oh, you can't get on it? Oh, is that what you were talking about? Oh, I remember saying, I want to make sure you got that one too. I thought you were talking because the one guy, one Walmart is just as bad, you can't get up the first. Yeah, but one day Walmart, one day Sergeant Drive.
I want to be respectful of people's time tonight, but I'm not going anywhere until people are done talking. To some extent. I won't be here past midnight. I'm not moving in with anybody, okay? Take that, you have it. We're going to take a few more questions and take the temperature of the crowd to see if we still have some comments. But again, I want to reiterate, very important if you can fill out the comment cards in the back, take a few moments to make sure you write down comment cards. I'm writing down a lot of comments and feedback, but if you can fill fill out those cards. It's very helpful to us. And I'm going to hear from this. Yes, ma'am. And we got to keep the side shadow down. And Brian, after you're finished there, can you help back there? Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
When you have a problem with mine, and they say that they came to pick you up, who do you talk to about the complaint? Because I have called people about the complaint, and nothing is ever done.
The executive director.
Okay, nothing is ever done.
Well, I'm gonna get your name and we'll talk about it, okay? Get mine too.
Yeah, I've experienced the same thing. I mean, I've had to actually cancel, not doctor's appointments, tests, because my ride would never show up. And when I call, I either get, well, they were there. I'm sitting outside at 6 o'clock in the morning with security. So they know I'm there. Don't sit there and tell me they showed up and I'm not there. I've had other my ride drivers appear to pick me up. I had one that even called the dispatcher and asked if they could take me where I had to go because mine didn't show up.
Thank you. Where were we? Didn't you have something to say, Nick? No? With the stripes and the blue stripes.
I can say something. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For you, now what happens to all this information that you happened tonight?
That's a perfect chance for Michael to come back into the conversation and explain what we're going to do next. What's next for this, for our group and for this study?
Right.
Thank you.
Well, this becomes a part of a larger body of comments. So we have a survey online. We're doing other surveys. There are other specific stakeholder groups. All of that information that we get from all of the stakeholders will be compiled by Ms. Donahue here. A report will be written about it, and we will use that report to help us write the scope for the larger study.
And the scope's like an application, right?
It's an application, but it'll be used for other purposes too. For instance, the comments about my ride, well, fortunately you have my ride management here to hear them. But we will formalize those comments and give them to you in a formal way. The comments about CT Transit, we will do that for them as well. Okay?
And for the bus stops and bus shelters, that's my department. You know, the physical infrastructure, again, you know, JD it was a big priority for us to take a look at the physical infrastructure of how we're doing on bus stops. We can always do better. And I want to make sure that everybody has my contact information at the Department of Transportation, Traffic and Parking in case you do have any follow-up, any issues in the future. Because, you know, it might fall apart. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's actually just a complaint about bus stop signs.
Okay, please.
The bus stop sign in front of Ferraras, which is actually in front of the package store next to Ferraras,
Okay.
has been down for 2 years since the snowplow did it 2 years ago.
Oh,
The bus stop sign,
I can do something about this.
the bus stop sign over by Walgreens here, the stop after Dollar General, has been missing since this winter when the snowplow hit. The bus stop sign at Temple Street, Temple and,
Chapel. Temple.
it's where the D stops next to the churches on Temple Street.
So like in the middle of the green?
Courthouse.
That got knocked down this winter, and that's the one that has a schedule for the
Oh, the
D
one
shows.
on Elm Street.
And nobody,
Temple
Elm
now.
Street.
and nobody, it hasn't been replaced since, I think it got knocked down last December,
All right.
and it's still missing.
I'll get on all three of those right away. One thing I should say about Connecticut Transit now, every transit agency, and Mike can probably talk better about this, is always strapped for money. And when I took the job in February 1st and the mayor appointed me, she made a priority being transit and making sure that we're focusing on all users of our transportation. We had our meeting in the first week, the Freedom of Transit was there. Also CT Transit was there, my department was there. And my big ask was signage. You know, I think we need better signs. And while CT Transit doesn't have the manpower or the money So I was very appreciative. I should say that CT Transit was great about understanding that we can putting up these generic bus stop signs for a while. They're white, they got the red lettering, they got the little bus icon. But they really don't tell you what line is there, where it's heading, what the headways are, or how long you're gonna have to wait. So CT Transit was great about providing us 1,000 signs. They haven't delivered yet; they're still in fabrication. But we're gonna put those up over the next year and a half. And it's gonna hopefully improve at least the visual language, the information dispersed in a lot. Thank you for this too. In the back again.
I don't think you don't like what I have to say though. Everybody comes here and guesses us to death and tells us they're gonna have committees to do things, and nothing ever gets done. Are you gonna keep your promise?
On three bus stop signs, yes ma'am. Sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't.
I know it's a joke. I'm talking about taking care of us.
Yes.
Can you get people who have Alzheimer's, don't remember where they're going, might get messed up on a bus or something? Are you really gonna keep your promise? We had aldermen come up here, we had people we voted for, and they got in office and did nothing. Are you gonna keep your promise? I don't know about anybody in this room, but I'm tired of people telling me, you got to do something.
And I forgot your name. You told me it's Motor Mouth, but I know that's your name. But, every community has problems, and every community that I've ever been to is looking for improved transit. Even New York City, which has literally 50% of the transit in the United States.
Yes.
Okay? You all should be proud because we are scoping a study, $1 million study, which is going to bring all these other studies together and lead to real implementable solutions. I've been involved in these scoping processes many times, and I've never seen a city have full public hearings to do it. This city, in my estimation, deserves the Platinum Award for public involvement. Doug really does care. Maybe I'll use some of your friends. Give them about improving these services. Will it happen tomorrow? No. Will it be easy? No. Will it cost money? Yes. And I can tell you from my personal experience, and while transit here seems very inadequate, the resource allocation is a lot greater in this community than other communities like it all over the country. All right?
Really?
So what is, yes,
Then why is Southern Road?
because service quality needs to be improved.
But they're eliminating services for other people who are other programs on my ride. They're eliminating how many rides you can take and where you can go. There's different programs that they eliminated. And they never tell the person, so you ride my ride and you read the sign.
And as I said before I started trying to convince you that this is really for real,
I'm not saying.
every community,
Please don't take it the wrong
no,
way.
and I don't, and your comments are very appreciated. What I'm trying to say is that not only your comments appreciated, they will affect the scope of the
I
study.
don't mean any
The other
disrespect.
comment I wanted to make, hold on, is
Please don't take it disrespectful.
remember where we are in the process. All of these comments that you made tonight, don't forget them. Because when the real study starts, you gotta make these comments again. You gotta bring 3 of your friends to them. Okay? There are so many communities that seek public involvement during the study phase. I don't know any community that seeks it during the scoping phase. Boy, you all deserve a platinum award. But there's so many communities that seek public input during the study that really, they don't get it. And so the decisions are made by a small group of people. You have an opportunity to affect what happens here. It may not come out exactly the way you want. But I can tell you, I get to go home. Doug gets to stay. Okay? Doug is very committed to this. I can certified. And you
Just
may not
remember, I
know
paid him to
me
say
for that,
that.
but I can tell you, what he's telling you is for real. This study will be done, it will lead to implementable solutions. And the thing that you all need to do is be here.
Thank you. And make sure to keep talking to your elected officials. You know, don't let your elected officials off the hook. I've been an elected official. You know, you can't let anybody off the hook. You should never stop fighting for your own. And Mayor Hart will never stop fighting for you. The reason that she appointed me as her director of transportation, city director, is because I care about transit. It's because we as a city need to do better in transit. Because frankly, car ownership is too expensive for most of our population. You know, it's too tough. Eventually, people stop driving. Right? And not everybody has the ability to have a driver's license in the first place. Transportation is a civil rights issue, and Mayor Hart is committed to that. And that's why we're here tonight. Corinne.
And before we go, we have about 10 minutes left, you guys, and we want to break, and we're all here to answer questions. But I do just want to recognize, if none of you rode our bus, we wouldn't be here. So thank you for riding our bus every day. Some days are good, some days aren't, just like everybody that wakes up. You have 2 administrative people sitting in our front row from my ride. How many times has that happened in a meeting?
Never.
Probably a big 0. It may have happened somewhere, who knows? But right now, all of you guys can go, give them your name, please. I know you may have to call another 500 times, but they came to this meeting on their own time on a Wednesday night. Please recognize that. You know what? They can fix one thing, right? They can. But I am a transit rider, and thank God, I do not have a disability. I'm getting old, and I may someday, but I do not. But I'm a transit rider. You know the old squeaky wheel? Sorry, we're gonna do is call you guys. Call. You have dispatch. They offer to give you their name and their number. They want you to be happy. When you're happy, they're happy. And what do they say that about the mama? If the mama ain't happy, nobody happy in the house. You know that? Anyway, please recognize that they are here by their own accord to make sure that their service is getting better. And they may have heard it 50 million times. It may cost them another 100,000 to do it. They won't have that tomorrow, but they can try to get it in a budget next year. So please do that. Please recognize you guys that they are here for you guys.
And one other point, while CT Transit isn't in the room, because they couldn't be this evening, they put up $90,000 to make this study a reality. Okay? So I don't think that they would spend that money and not want to get the recommendations or implement what you all suggest.
It's been a long time since we've rethought about bus routes in our city. It is. You know, we have a hub and spoke system, and I know Brian, who is I want to say something about Brian. Brian is a Yale graduate from a few years back. When he was a freshman in college, he joined City Cycling, the local advocacy group. He was out there taking pedestrian counts for people, and now he's a real human. He's a graduated member of society. He's now working in transportation. His passion, and he's here tonight to help us get our things done. I just want to say, Brian's been my sort of compass for a couple of years now, especially transit issues. So I just want to say thanks for his effort. We'll start right here, going with that.
Could you give us a little overview of the timeline for the study and then the next steps that will be required in order to implement the suggestions of the study?
Yeah. So first and foremost, we're working on finishing our scoping process right now, which is why we're out here talking to you at the moment. Once we have our scope finished by the end of July, we're going to submit that to the FTA and hopefully, and to the Board of Aldermen as well. The Board of Aldermen will take a vote in August to finalize the $90,000 allocation to the
Who has
city.
the ruling on that, George Perez?
Say it again.
Who has the ruling on that, George Perez?
The whole board, but yeah, but the leadership and Sal DiPola, the alder that was here with Barbara tonight, Barbara Constance, your alder. Sal's the chair of the City Service Environmental Policy Committee, which is where our item went to. And so it was really the Board of Aldermen who we were going to do 2 public meetings. The Board of Aldermen really pushed us to do 4, and we really appreciate their feedback and their helping us scope the scope, if you will. So then after the money gets allocated in October, we hope, once we submit our grant and our application in August, money gets allocated. It's about a 9-month 1-year process to do the study. And after that, so we'll have recommendations and a map of how to move forward to implement this sometime around November of next year, October of next year. And then we gotta go hunt for money and start making it happen. Because a lot of the money's gonna come from the state. But the governor has been hearing from us, Commissioner Redeker's been hearing from us, the folks at CT Transit have been hearing from us as a local and the state option. In fact, if you guys think you're a squeaky wheel, I'm a giant squeaky wheel. I've got a staff of 95 that helps me advocate. So I think that's the path forward. Yes, sir.
I lived in almost every major city in the country. I traveled to Michigan, I lived there. I went to Houston, I lived there. I went to Los Angeles and Hollywood, I lived there. And a few other major cities. And when I moved here, it's 4 years now, I hear complaints every minute of the day. All I hear is neighbors on the buses, shopping. And I'm like, if you only knew how the country is suffering and how good it is here. Because as bad as you think it is, when you travel, you begin to realize and get a whole view of the whole country. You got it good here. We're trying to
Make it even better.
yeah, now is to try to make it perfected, but it's good now as it is. If it stays like this, it's still better than most of the country. I'm telling you, first-hand experience. The buses come up here, I go from door to door almost to everywhere I gotta go. Okay, and when I lived on Ferry Street, it was the same thing. When I lived on Sheffield, I had the same thing. And I've never lived in a state that I can just jump on a bus and get off, and because I have bad legs, sometimes I walk with a cane, sometimes I don't. And drop me off almost where I'm going, almost every place, Hill Health Center. I get off of here, and a B bus is waiting within 10 minutes, okay? And I'm able to go there and make my appointment. I leave here within 45 minutes, and I get to Hill Health on 2 buses, and have time to wait and get on my iPad, okay? So you got it good here. Now we're just hoping to perfect stuff. And the second thing I want to say is, this is a process. You can't just say, well, I have this complaint, and understand the whole process and get involved. You'd be surprised how many people from CT that will listen to you. I had personal contact with certain people because I went to meetings. I had no idea I was on the front page of the paper. Okay, but I'm not afraid of people lashing back or whatever. But I love New Haven. I want to get involved. I went to college here now. I'm getting all the help that I couldn't get anywhere else I went to, and I'm enjoying myself.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. And a great way to stay involved, I mean, besides, read the newspaper and when I blast out something, maybe you see it. A great way to stay involved is to communicate with your alders, of course, and make sure that they hear from you. Your electeds are responsible for you. Yes, sir. Sorry, ma'am. I was pointing at the gentleman right behind you. We'll come right back to you. No. Yes, sir.
My name is Peter, I have to tell you this gentleman here. I ride the buses on average, but I was graduating 5 to 10 times a day. Pure aggravation, pure complaint. I call the company dozens of times about certain situations. Number one, D12 bus sometimes don't change their sign. Still on 12. We want to go downtown. We find out it's too late. They go downtown. They didn't just change it now. When we ask the bus drivers when to change it or not, they get very indignant. They get very sarcastic. Okay. Number two, buses are stand up only. From here to the back, you gotta stand up. From the time they come to North Haven to here, you gotta stand up. Now, I don't have nothing against handicap. Handicap getting too much. They take all the room. I mean,
Thank you.
well, I have a lot of to say. That's not what to say. Some people don't.
I'll be here after. You can have more.
Okay.
And please, again, comment cards. If you could, please take some time to fill out comment cards. That really does help us and to prove how many. I mean, we got some video of who's here. We got some pictures of who's here. We got a sign up sheet. But really, any of this stuff, really does help us make better decisions. Yes, ma'am.
One question. I thought it was great in New Haven. Transport. Now, my ride, I didn't know.
So, my ride's a program out of the Greater New Haven Transit District. Is I think the best way to put it. And CT Transit is the state Connecticut DOT bus system for the New Haven region. And then I work for the city of New Haven, and I put up the bus. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What about the bus stop that's down here at Walmart? Is that up to the bus company to clean that bus stop out? Well, I talk about Walmart's on Fox and Boulevard.
Yeah.
You wait in there and it is thick. It does stink. I don't know whether it's up to the bus company to clean it or if it's up to Walmart to have that bus stop.
Very confident about the property owner, but at the same time, it's something that I can
You don't really want to go inside that little shelter area away from the bus because it really does stink. And on top of it, I have sorry to say, you got the bus drivers that will not tell the passengers when they get on or when they get off. People with wheelchairs and people with walkers to get on first. They got the passengers to get off before the passengers with wheelchairs or walkers get on. And I always thought that if you have a walker or a wheelchair or whatnot, you're supposed to be the first person to get on that bus. The bus drivers don't do anything about it. And then when the buses get crowded, you got the passengers in the back. Calling for all the passengers in the front to get off when they get out at the back door. And the bus drivers don't do nothing about it. They don't stop them at all. When I was in that private sector for a while, the bus company out there was you got off in the back while the other ones were getting out in the front. You couldn't get off in the front. Get off the bus at the front end of the bus. You get off at the back. But they don't do nothing about it. They just, the bus drivers just let them get on and off
Yeah.
in the front.
No, and I think from what I hear,
And on top of that, before I had my knees operated on, I had one bus driver, I told him to put it in the ramp. This is when we had the old buses with the stairs. I told him to put it in the ramp. He didn't